Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Internet. Hello, Mr. Lawrence.
Hello, Mr. Carl. How are you?
I am good, and welcome to Risky Rollers for the February 2025 first podcast piece of content for the year. How are you doing, all the Internet brothers and sisters and others? Uh,
Good. I hope they had a very good break. And now it's actually already February. We didn't have, too much stuff last month, but because we did attend some nice events, so
yep.
mhm.
Hello to you, chat. As always, let us know how the audio is. Let us know how the quality is. Chat with us in chat. We like to have a talk to you. We like to keep these pods nice and casual and have a chat. And we will keep going pretty much as long as you kind of have questions. All right, Mr. Lawrence?
We want to engage, we want to talk, and then we just want to talk.
Lawrence's audio is no mic on
Very sorry.
Lawrence.
Very sorry I'm not using a mic today because it's with Mr. Dalton.
All right,
So
hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Give me two
okay.
seconds.
Maybe you need to pump up my volume. I'm increasing my volume now, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably me. Just we'll give this is a good opportunity to get everybody in into the into the internet and into the chat. Try now, Mr. Lawrence.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Is my audio nice, or is it still the same?
Is how's that? I think we should have Mr. Lawrence now on his mic.
Okay, so
But
if not,
we'll keep blabbering on as we tend to do until we
yeah,
get chatteronies much better. All right.
much better.
All right,
Good,
Lukey's come through with the confirmation.
Mr.
We're rusty, chat. We haven't done this for a little while, so much of forgiveness. All good
Yes.
now, thank you. Yeah, so as always, thank you for joining us. And we do this because you guys come and watch it. So we thank you for supporting us. Make sure you press the buttons, press the like, press the subscribe down below. Put some comments on the video. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Thank you to our channel sponsors, Miniature Scenery, who help us with terrain, General Games and Dice Arcade, who are our friendly local game stores for your model needs. If you want proxies, go to Proxywars. If you like dice, go to Baron of Dice. And if you want some more terrain, go to Hegemon, who help us with our nice shiny tournament terrain.
Mm.
So yeah, February. None of you guys not on the internet heard Lawrence talking because I had him on the wrong audio. But
Mhm.
January has just what happened? What happened to where did it go? I think we took a long break. We had quite a lot of events in the back end of November and December.
Yeah.
So I think you guys were also tired from going overseas and doing WTC. So we took a nice little extended break, but we are back
Back to gaming. Back to Warhammer.
back to gaming. So yeah, where did your January go, Chad? I had a nice little holiday. You know, back
Oh
at
yeah.
work now. But yes, did you do anything fun, Lawrence? Did you do any fun hobbying over your little Christmas break? Did you put together anything fun?
What did I? Oh, I did some death guards. So that was the army that I brought to Uprising. Other than that, I just did nothing. Just took a break. But yeah, so
Yeah.
well, that guard did me well. So we're happy.
Yeah, I mean I was doing mostly prep for my Blood Angels for
Uprising.
Uprising. Obviously Blood Angels was the last codex before Christmas. So there was a lot of bits and pieces to get ready for, Vindicators to paint, Sanguinary Guard to rebase, Reavers to paint and get ready. I never thought I'd be using Reavers in a competitive tournament, but now they're good. So
You have more reavers. I think I have 1x5 to give you this weekend. So
I've that'd make 15 now. So it's funny that Reavers are now like 80 points and a good pick. So, but I can probably talk a little bit about how I use them when we talk about Uprising. But I suppose unless anybody's got any good Christmas stories or preamble ramble stories about their January, we can probably may as well talk about Uprising while we got that far.
Yep.
Adelaide Uprising. So our friends over in Adelaide, this was streamed over on our friend Scotty D's channel, the Australis Tabletop Wargaming Network, over on Twitch and YouTube. So that was fun. You appeared. There is a game with Laurence on stream. If you want to see Laurence play with his Death Guard, go over to that channel and have a look at that game.
The Noah's game, I think I was drunk and I didn't do it.
Well, you don't admit that to the internet, Laurence. But there's some nice friendly
yes.
sharing of drinks and and that happened to you. You came the worse off with that.
Yeah, but it was fun. I played against Oliver Johnson, one of our co-coaches from WTC Team Australia last year. So it was fun.
Yeah, great bloke, great player, good coach. So talk a little bit about what we did. So Adelaide Uprising, just shy of 200 players over in the suburbs of Adelaide, which is about an 8-hour drive from where we are.
Yeah.
So we took a group of players with us as a bit of a mixed team from a couple of different areas, and drove over in a couple of cars, and somebody flew and got a big house and hung out for what was it, 4 days?
Friday, Sunday, Monday, 4 nights and 5 days.
And so that was great. All the guys that came over with us were awesome and did the group very proud, which was very good. I think one of the good things that we did is I don't think we let a South Australian place any higher than about 12th.
I can't remember anymore, but I think lots of.
I think Jono was 12th.
Jono is the best SA player then.
And then it was very hot. It was very hot.
It's very hot, but the venue itself I think is fine. So.
Yep, the venue was really good.
Lots
of good aircon. 40k Gamer House was great in chat. Yes, it was. It was good fun. And it's fun just to it wasn't a teams event, but it kind of felt like a teams event, didn't it? We're all there talking about, who each other played and what we could do better for the next game and the next day, and, debriefed and razzed each other up and, helped each other out with the energy, Laurence, and get everybody across the line. Everybody's gear made it all over fine, except for a funny story about some of the gear, but that's fine. I'll let you tell that one maybe if you feel like it. But
I think I forgot already.
Some of the gear.
I think that's the best part of our T-shirt. But
we made everything made it up there except our team T-shirts, which was quite funny in the end. So we all had nice spanking new T-shirts to drive home in. But so what did you take?
So I was practicing Death Guard for I think the last 3-4 months. And then there's really no other way for me than just to play Death Guard. I was thinking, maybe play this Necron Star Shadow because I'm a very great meta chaser. But then in the end, it was nerf, so I said, okay, just settle with Death Guard. And then I even was trying to optimize my list until the very last, I think, the day that we practiced.
Yep.
And then I think my list was triple press, triple what do you call this one? Drones. I have 2x6 of the Death Shroud, and then I have 1x20 of Foxes with Typhus, and then another 2x10. So it's just really very lots of MSUs, but then you have those good vehicle that can respond in terms of good shooting and then pressure. So I was very happy because at the end of the event, I was the best death guard.
You did take home Best in Faction Death Guard, which is an awesome result. So well
Yeah,
done.
I mean, even for our group, I think we did very well on our very own faction. I think even yourself, congratulations, best Blood Angels.
Yes, I did. I did take home. I was lucky enough to take home Best Blood Angels. The field wasn't as wide as some of the other factions, but still very good. Very good. I ended up coming out with a 5-3 record, which was I was very happy with. That was pretty much what I wanted to get out of the weekend. If I could finish up on a positive record, I think that was that was basically what I was aiming for. Best in Faction was nice, a little sprinkling of on the top, which was cool. I think, really, especially that with the amount of stuff that we do for the events that we do, going mega sweat with all the practice and stuff is not something that we really have time for. And, for some of these, this is the biggest event in Australia. It's the biggest ITC points in Australia for us. So, coming out at a positive record of that is pretty good. So most of the team did very well. We had a number of Best in Factions across the group, which was really pleasing. And I think the Victorians as a whole, our little extended cohort of Victorians, including some of our Team Victoria friends, did very well, which was really good and really kind of stamped our brand on the event, which was good. And I think I was having a chat to Adam Napier, one of the TOs, during the event, and it was really good to see that there really wasn't any bad eggs. There wasn't any drama. Everything ran smooth. Everything started on time. Everything finished on time. Everybody, so yeah, it was great. I would highly recommend, if you can afford to go over, if you are going to travel for an event, then pen in Uprising for next year and get in early and find some people to go over with. And what was your highlight?
Highlight was when we finally get our T-shirt.
So to be fair, it wasn't Lawrence's fault. The manufacturer of our team T-shirts were delayed, and we missed the delivery by fraction of a hair. And because it's over the Australia Day long weekend, unfortunately everything was closed, so we couldn't collect anything. So had to wait till the day after the long weekend, which is unfortunate. But if that's the worst thing that that's the biggest thing that goes wrong for the weekend.
Yeah, well, we have the banners, but this we are represented. So all good.
And they did any for the big groups that registered as a team. They did like the team takeaway was a big flag with the team logos on it. So which was awesome. I think that was a really good touch. Our flag went to Mr. Booth, who performed the best in our group.
Performer in our group.
Top
finishes fourth. Yeah.
So with Gladius,
with a mighty 7-1 record.
7-1.
Very good.
So that was really good. I'm really pleased for him. Really good performance, and nearly taking the chockies, and taking the flag home. So it was good. It was a good event.
Yeah, but obviously we want to congratulate our very own Mr. Matt Morisoli, obviously, for taking down the Uprising.
Yep.
And then I think
eventually between Reese and Morisoli, they'll let us win an event in Australia. But until they're sick of playing, I think they're very, very good. And a kudos to taking some. I think Matt took something arguably off meta.
Yes.
And, I think we were talking about this in the warm-up. One of the things that I found, or an observation I took away from the event, is it was really about how well you played Warhammer and how well you scored your points and how well you'd prepared for the layouts and
Yeah.
having a good plan to get, 90 to 100 points in Warhammer. And the gulf between the difference between the teams in terms of who was the best faction and their win rate and the top meta pick, was probably the closest, in my short time in comparison, shorter than yours, Lawrence, playing competitively. It's probably the smallest, that everybody's the closest that I've ever seen it from a balance perspective. And really it's the generalship of the game at the time was really the thing that decided a lot of the matchups. Not necessarily, there was no 9th edition release Eldar with 2 Wraith Knights and all of the fate dice, and you just like spew mortal wounds and everything dies.
Yeah.
And if you chose to take that list, you won. That really didn't happen. Matt, beat all of the top meta picks, Star Shatter, Death Watch,
Yep.
Guard, with something that just he played good Warhammer and could play good Warhammer with it. And he's a good player. And
I think that's the testament of Mr. Morrison. You just give him something, and then he would really make the best out of it. So, well done to him.
If you're somebody in chat and you've got a story from going to Adelaide, I know some of the. I can see Luke in the chat, and so he might have a story. Pop your story in chat, and we can talk about it. I really like the Reavers in my list. I had a unit of Reavers with a Phobos Lieutenant. I think in hindsight, I would definitely drop the Lieutenant now. I think the Lieutenant makes the thing that makes Reavers really good now is that they're 80 points. They deep strike, you rapid them, they flip a point for a turn, and then you're not sad when they die. You're more sad when 5-man and the Lieutenant dies because it's more points. It's more like 140 points, which is, a real unit. So I think definitely I would take the Reavers again. And I would, but I wouldn't take the Lieutenant. The Lieutenant and Phobos let you do move, shoot, move, charge, which is cute, especially off the...
Move, shoot, move, charge.
Yeah, off the deep strike. Most move, shoot, move abilities have a clause that says you're not allowed to charge. The Phobos Lieutenant does not. So it means that you don't have to spend necessarily a rapid ingress to get them close enough to then charge, which then lets you do the -1 OC to a minimum of 0, can go to 0, and the battle shock. So you so what the Combi Lieutenant lets you do is be a little bit more funky with how you use it. It also scouts, so you can start them on the board if you want to, have them as an early trade piece. So it's really flexible, 80 points. Go on, you ready?
Well, it's been very fun. I think most of our last game also, we played each other as well. So, I played Luke last game, and then I think Ed played Wade, and then Alex played Jason. And then who did you play in your last game?
So I played one of our local, he's not necessarily as local, but Mr. Titchener is also an avid Victorian. Pipped me at the post in the last game. Was my third loss, but played a very good game. And punched me with Gretchen, and I was very sad, but it was a very good game. So then I wasn't sad. So if if it was a good game to lose, if that makes sense. He had a very interesting list, where it was
Yeah,
a lot of
I mean,
Gretchen in Dread Mob with some
big
looters
stampa.
and a stomper.
Yeah.
We lucked into the didn't luck well. So the way that they're doing the table layouts is they had 4 layouts spread across all of the tables, and it was pretty much luck of the draw which table layout you got. And then you played on that layout with the scenario depending on what round it was. And table layout 1 was one of the options, and layout 1 has the massive L shape.
Was it big L's?
Yeah, one of the big L's. And funnily enough, you can hide an entire stomper behind that
The
L.
big L. Wow.
And then when he decides he wants to shoot through the ruins, he touches it. And then he shoots through the ruins. So it's a little bit awkward, and it was a good situational pick for Uprising, knowing what those layouts were and what the terrain at the event was, which is a sign of a good player. So so kudos to that. But it was a great game. 8 games of Warhammer in a row is rough. It's tiring, and
But it's fun.
But it's fun. It was good. What else did we? At the time it was quite funny because we were obviously being in the mental space of playing our armies, being ready to play at Uprising, and we had bloody Eldar leaks all over the place as as Uprising's going on.
Yeah.
So everybody was talking about what Eldar lists they wanted to try, and I'm like, don't think about Eldar, think about Blood Angels B, and that, remember how to play your army. Don't start memorizing strats in other detachments. Make sure you remember what your army does. So
one thing also I remember, right?
Yep.
That was the only time also, because I don't have any Plague Marines or any leader that actually needs Plague Marines. So I thought I don't have any grenades. And then one of my opponent actually reminded me that Mortarion has a grenade keyword. So it's the only
Where
first time. First
where
time that
does
I have.
where
Oh, I
does
checked.
Matorian's grenade? Where does Morty's grenades come out of?
I think he has some grenades on his belt. So, oh, thank you very much
He's
for reminding me.
he's
So,
Morty's got a giant utility belt that wraps around, and he's got he's got his lantern pistol and on it, and he's got his grenade pack. But yeah, Morty
yeah.
has
So,
Morty has grenades, so there you go.
yeah, it was very nice of my opponent because I said, I want to grenade Johnson because Lionel Johnson is very tough to kill, right? So I said, if only I have grenade. And then he said, oh, he has a grenade. So, I mean, thank you for reminding me. And then I think that particular round, I was able to kill him. No, though not by grenades, but grenades, I think I gave him at least
Yep.
4 more wounds. So, yeah, thank you to my opponent.
So what were your matchups?
So I had Tangos first round. Then my favorite game was my second game, which is Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up as a draw, 84 all of the Purge the foe, and I going first. So it was very, very tough. So I just really pile in all primaries first. And then I was just lucky that until he scored, he scored maximum of his primary secondaries in his last turn. And then this is just ended up as a draw. And then my third round was, what was my third round? I forgot already, bro. Give me a second. I have it here. I know Tyranids. So Tyranids was very good for me because I mean I was just giving him -2 to hit most of the time, so he can't kill me. And then my fourth game was against another Dark Angels, which I won. And then I was very happy already. I was 3 wins in a draw. And then I think I was already top 12 at that time. So that was the time I bumped Oliver Johnson, and then I was drinking already before I even started to play. So that was my first loss, and then obviously I'm already intoxicated. So my last game of the day too was against Imperial Knights. Very good player, James man. So I thought I had an advantage, but I think taken hold. I went first again. So yeah, I lost. So I was very angry at myself. And then my last two games, I think I got Custodes, which I know how to play against because I
Spearhead or Talon?
it was Talons. So he has a couple of wardens. We still have double grab that. But then the list is a bit weird because like he has 3x3 of Vanitary, and then even wardens are 1x4 with a blade trap. So I mean I went second on a scorcher, and then yeah, I was just like was able to actually maximize my points on the fourth and fifth round. And my last game was with Luke Advent. So
Yep.
all good games, but yeah, I didn't see any Starkies except obviously for the Dark Angels. But I was like really scared with Vanguard list. So luckily I didn't see any of them.
Would you take what are you going to do with the Death Guard now? Are they?
No, I think if I can handle Eldar, I would still play Death Guard for this Cataclysm coming May. Or if EC is already out, maybe I'll play EC. But yeah, I think Death Guard is still very good.
Yep. So what was mine? So my first round was I pulled Callum German, the
Central second play.
Yep, who came second. So I played him round one. He was playing Deathwatch.
Double.
So WTC player, really good player, and that was a pretty much. So it was Terraform. I think first round was Terraform, and
Yes,
I had to go first. So which normally on Terraform is not too bad. I got some early Terraforms off, which I was really happy about, and then it became really grindy in the middle of the game, and we were very, very close. And then he kind of popped off. He had a really good go turn 4, basically tabled most of my stuff. I got punched really hard by the Gravis captain with Thief of Secrets, who was punching my things for like 4 damage. Very good little combo, and ran out of steam, and then he got like a perfect last round, and I scored no points and ended up he was winning. But that was the margin, basically, is the round 5.
Yeah.
I then went up against Vanguard.
Ultramarines?
No, Vanguard. Shrike. Vanguard. Blood.
Raven God.
Ravengard Shrike in Vanguard Detachment, Space Marines. And that was a good game. Beautiful army. It was the army that actually won Best Presented. Yeah, it looked really, really nice. Really clean. The backbone of it was actually very, very similar to the list that came third from Brody from New South Wales.
Joshua Brody. Yep.
Joshua Brody, and it. But I managed to do some sneaky stuff with the Sanguinor and my characters, and caught his Devastator Centurions off the back foot. And if you can deal with the Centurions, then they lose a lot of firepower, and you can do some good things. So won that one. Round 3 was then against Renegade Raiders CSM.
Yep.
And that was a very close game. And I think there was some players that I learnt about protecting some home field, but that army's so fast. And I've got a really good photo of Dante versus Abaddon in the final showdown, which was quite funny. They had a punch off. Dante ended up winning, but it meant that I won the battle, but Abaddon won this war and beat me. So I finished day 1, 1 and 2, which was probably the worst in in the group. So that was a good drive home, and then started day 2, round 4 off against Thousand Suns, and that was the ritual. And there was a list decision I was making before Uprising about whether or not I take intercessors and put some battle line in the list. Oh my god. The intercessors in that game, MVP. They basically just set up the back. I created 3 objectives. They stickied all of them. There was max primary all of the time, and I just sent it against all of the objectives my opponents created, and just denied primary and won. It was a good game to start off the last day and got me nice and energized.
Yep. And
so that was good. And then I scored a bye, which was a bit weird. We won't go too far into that, but basically it worked out that there was a drop. It happened to be my opponent, and I got the bye. So that was fortunate for me. And then in the last game for day 2 was Tau, and it was the auxiliary cadre. And opponent, really great opponent, South Australian. Played him at Ratcon in September, so it was a rematch, and he'd beat me last time, so it was 1-0. So I had to get the comeback. So we're now 1-1. I won that game, and it was a game where the auxiliary cadre have lots of tricks in terms of being able to move the Kroot in different phases. So it was a very tactical game. Opponent was great, but it was game 6. Everybody's tired. And once I'd kind of identified that I had some inside information from our supreme Tau leader, Mr. Ed. Ed worded me up before we started on the elite strats. So I followed his formula and it worked out really well. I just killed the Kroot. Once you kill the Kroot, and then the crisis suits have to come out to do something, you jump on the crisis suits, and then you
I think that's a good thing, with a group that plays different factions. At least they would give you five.
And that's the power of going up with a group or going up with a team, right? Hello, go for it, painting. How are you? And then the first game of
the last day,
I played an army in Warhammer, in a game of Warhammer 40k that I now can't forget. That I now it was such a good game that I've forgotten what it was.
Oh, I know. Is it the Votan?
Oh, it was. Sorry, I mixed them up. So Votan was Votan was my last game of day 2 against Jagal, who's another has played in a number of our events. Great guy, plays a lot of Votan. Was really close. Was 5 points in it in the end, and I was able to just basically bully his Terminators with my characters. That game, he couldn't kill my lieutenant with combi weapon. I was pulling a Jack Harpster, and I had, he dominated the board. I think he killed my combi lieutenant. So the trick so I was playing Angelic Inheritors, which is the Grotmus detachment, and that has an enhancement, same as Phoenix Gem. So when the unit dies on a 2-up, it gets back up with 3 wounds at the end of the phase. So you can be really aggressive with it because you can do things like, well, you can't shoot me because it's lone up. If you charge me, the Sanguinor is going to intervene. So what are you going to do, right? And you can use it really aggressively. But I think it killed 10 Jaegers and 10 warriors, like Hearthguard
Heartking
warriors, Hearthkin warriors, right? Because it's 5 attacks, hits on 2s, it gets rerolls from the detachment, and reroll wants to hit, reroll wants to wound, and it's anti-infantry 4-up sustain.
Not the ones. Just sustain.
Yeah, no dev wounds. It's a dev wounds on the combi bolter, but and it's neg 1 because of the combat knives buff from the data slate. So it actually hits really well. And between Mephiston, him, and the Sanguinor, they just bounced between units that turned up. I had to use Dante and 6 Sangard really defensively in that game because Jagal had 12 bikes, a 6-man and 2 3s.
Yep.
So they would pop up and shoot things like Vindicators and stuff. So, and then he had 10 and 2 5s.
Yep.
Or 2 10, yeah, 1 10 and 2 5 Terminators. So 20 Terminators. And the like I had Terminators Deep Strike in my backfield because I had to move forward and all sorts of fun stuff. So that was a really good game, really close. And then my last then I had Tau first game last day, and then I had the Orcs game 8. So yeah, so that was a good event. I think definitely some stuff I learned about the list in terms
was your first Uprising yet?
Was my first Uprising. So ticked off that bucket list. And hopefully, we'll pin it in the calendar
next year
for next year and the years to come, and make it a bit of a thing. And hopefully I can get my permission slip signed by the boss again next year and get enough. I have to work on my brownie points so that she lets me go across to Adelaide for another week.
Yeah, get your permission ready very early.
Permission
6 months before.
Now, I think definitely I really enjoyed the list. I really enjoyed the detachment. I think I would definitely play it again. Except, why do you think that would be an exception?
Because
Mr. Laurence?
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So, Eldar and Guard are the 2 releases for January.
January.
For January, yeah. Well, February now, start of the year.
Yeah.
And obviously the Guard box, the FOMO box, the Krieg box is out with the Codex, but the Codex is up for pre-order next weekend. So the Guard stuff is not quite out yet, but we know all the rules because the Codex is in the FOMO box.
Yeah.
And then obviously Eldar is released this weekend. So
Eldar is lightning fast, so they overtook the Guard.
Yeah, they overtook the Guard. They not only did they use they used 1 CP for lightning fast, and then they used 2 CP for fire and fade, so that they could get even faster. And then they used their new agile maneuvers token to do a D6 +1 move in your turn.
They had 4+1 token.
They have all the rules now.
They have.
And so I think because of the Eldar, I think Eldar are going to need a bit of practice and a bit of zhuzhing.
Yeah.
So Eldar are my other.
Like even agile maneuver, you need to have a token and even maybe some sort of things to actually remember. So
yeah, so we won't go through all the things that Eldar can do. There's heaps of videos reviewing the Eldar Codex.
Yeah.
We are poor Australians, so we don't get all of the good stuff early. But what do you think? So we have a few players that play Guard in both Victorian team, in our meta and in our play groups, in our practice groups. Who do you think, without being able to practice too much Eldar yet, who do you think is the winner for the release, Eldar or Guard?
I think it's Eldar, because there's so many jumps that you can actually do. Well, I think still Eldar. I'm not sure with a Guard and how much power that they would be bringing, but I think because of all the tricks that Eldar can do.
Yep.
I think it will be the same wherein they would actually be all over the board, doing their secondaries, stealing some primaries, and then they would just react to whatever you would be doing because of those nice stratagem, those nice new rules for them. So I
Yep.
think Elder will be the
Yeah.
winner.
And Blackouts, hello Blackout, Fire Dragons and Warp Spiders look very scary in Warhost. Yeah. I think they
Yeah.
look very scary in any detachment, to be honest. I think one of the powers of the Eldar book is there's a detachment. There's a lot of different detachments that are viable,
Yes.
and they represent very different play styles.
Mm.
And I think time will tell
On which
which
would
is
be
the
the best.
best, which is the kind of, seen as the best one to pick if you're being sweaty competitive. But I think starting off, there's going to be a lot of different builds in different detachments.
Yep.
Obviously the running favorites at the moment has got to be a flip up between War Host and Aspect Host.
Mm-hmm.
The internet likes those two probably the most, I think, as in from a competitive perspective. The tricks in Warhost are very good, and the stratagems in Warhost give you a lot of play, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of
Yeah.
forgiveness. I think Warhost is between the two probably slightly easier, because you have a lot of reactive moves and that you have more reactive moves, but the aspect data sheets that are already very good, like the Fire Dragons and the Warp Spiders the chat's talking about, are very good in aspect.
Yeah.
Aspect's going to be the first one I try out.
We'll try obviously Harley Quinns first and then the Wind Rider one. I think it's a
Yep.
bit interesting because
I
I
think
have Harley Quinns, so I want to try them.
I am very. Are you? Do you think that they did, even though the Harlequins are not going to get their own book? Do
Yeah.
you think that they've done the Harlequins justice in this version in 10th?
I think there's obviously it's not like really, really, I mean, super competitive because they're very fragile. But yeah, I think they did them some justice because, bro, all the strats are good, all the enhancements are also very good. So all the melee profile of the troops are all devastating wounds, and then you have access for +1 to wound, and then I think reroll hit rolls of 1. And then yeah, I think it's interesting, but then obviously because I last time if I remember it right, they can advance in charge. This time they don't advance in charge, but yeah, they move base. I think it's 7 or 8, and then those bikes and even the vehicles moves 14, and then even this solitaire moves 12. Plus you can do the blitz, and she's really very killy. So there's really a lot of good plays here, but yeah, I don't think it's the best detachment in the Eldar book. But then, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Worth a look. I think Harlequins players they would be very happy. So
yeah,
they
and
they can
you
get
obviously you get some of the power in, like you can splash in, like you don't have to go pure Harlequin, right? You
Yep,
can splash in some of the good Eldar stuff.
yep. But I mean, obviously, like for me, I want to have a mono Harlequin list. So I would try this one first, but then I think I would just fall back to a Wind Rider one. So
Yeah,
uh,
I think they definitely. So from observationally, obviously hasn't tested it, but
mm,
they look like they can play some good Warhammer. I think
yep,
if you know how to play it properly and like have some practice, I think it can hold its own. It's got the pieces to play good. It's the troops coming out of the
the
transports, the
transport yep.
Skyweavers. Skyweavers?
Star Weaver is the bike.
Starweavers.
Sorry. Yep.
Give you a lot of, give you good play. Blackout
All
says
the stuff. You have fight and death, then you have the region of the character, you
yeah.
have the reactive move, you have at the end of your opponent's fight
So,
phase, you can
solid
actually act Oni.
solitaire getting back up and fighting again
It's
seems very good.
it's not,
That
and then
seems fairly good.
the second time she dies, do the strat of fight and death as well.
Yeah.
It's so
So, although you can't fight, that still means you only fight twice. But as in,
yeah,
like, you fight on the first life, you get back up, you then fight on the second life. But yeah, it's very forgiving because she still fights first. Buttload of attacks. Elder Codex it should be a standard going forward. There's a return to some flavor. It's diverse and realistically, all detachments are takeable. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think that the CSM Codex was quite good as a codex. The detachments, I think were a bit of a
mediocre.
no, as in like let me find the word. Some paved the way for these type of detachments in the Elder book. Like you had the assault with guns detachment, you have the melee detachment, you have the tanks and the Ford Friends detachment, and so there's a lot. You have the uppy downy, you have the cultist detachment, the horde detachment, you've got the oath detachment. So there's a lot of different flavors, and there's definitely a lot of different flavor in the Elder book. The Windrider host, I think, definitely a lot of people will try it. I'm not sure. I think one of the things that lets the Windrider host down is there's some sustainability problems.
Yeah, and
some defense problems. If you get jumped, like you can't make a mistake. If your units of bikes die, then you've got nothing.
nothing.
I think
Worth a look.
yeah.
But
The spirit host, the wraith detachment seems okay. If you like playing with your wraith, battle line, they have ways to make them 2OC. They have ways to make them more killy. You can return models to units. Wraith lords are good in the detachment. They've got a trick where you get a warlock on Skyrunner, right? And you go first, and you're fighting Angron, right? And you shoot the warlock, right? And you charge the warlock into Angron, and then when the psychic dies, you get a buff for everything else in your army against Angron.
Oh,
you get +1 to hit and wound. It's great. I love it. It's it's vengeance for the psychic.
Yeah.
So there's some cool things you can do. But yeah, I've been looking at some lists. I think I had a hot take today to somebody about Asuraman. Just like Elder Judgment tokens, yeah, pretty much. He's not in my first list, shock horror. But I do have the Avatar in my first list. So it's probably not the most optimized. I think Dark Reapers are freaking S tier. You get it. They give you access to probably the best indirect in the book. You take a unit of 10 and 2 units of 5. The 2 units of 5 give you some indirect and some damage 3 shots, and the 10 man you put with an Autark with the enhancement, and you get full rerolls, and they get in and out of Wave Serpent, and then you use their shrine token to then put the unit back in the transport, so they can kind of move around the board really well. Banshee's got to glow up. They actually have decent damage. Janzar lets you go 6 flat, and they advance and charge all the time. So you go like 17 out of a transport. You can go 19 if you want to use a shrine token, or a fate die, agile maneuver or something. So they're really, really fast.
Lycus is very good as well. The new characters, so I think everyone would have that one in their games.
Yeah, the Lycus. So
Yep.
she gives crit 5s. So when you play
When you do your jump,
so
you can.
you jump Lycus in, you shoot, you get crit 5s on a unit you want to kill. You then pay a CP for your fire dragons, who then get lethal hit sustain 1.
I
Crits
think
on
he wants.
5s. So you're like,
Yeah.
and then they get back in their wave serpent, because that's what you can do in the detachments.
I'll go and buy that model. I like it.
Sorry?
I like Lycus. I'll go and buy that model.
Yeah. I have one on pre-order. It's probably one of the first things I'll put together.
It looks good though.
Sorry?
It looks good as well.
It looks great. It looks great. Warp spiders just in general. I mean, the 90 points for a unit that you can choose to go 24. You got to roll, like they nerfed the flicker drum, so you got to roll the dice now for every model, not just one. But when you need to go and do that action, or when you need to jump on that objective, or when you need to be in a position to like flame something with 6 flamers at AP1, that's like strength 5 AP1 D6 for 1 damage. It's really good. You can do some really cool tricks, like because now Autarchs can go in units. You can attach an Autarch with a spiders jump pack, put it in a unit of warp spiders, and then you get grenades and a fire drag and a melter gun. So you can jump 24, melter a thing, grenade a thing, charge, or you can't charge with that unit, but you could just move 12 plus a agile maneuver, and then you can then charge, and then you have a fights first warp spider unit with power blade array, right? It's like strength 4 neg 1 for 1 10 attacks.
No, it's neg 2.
Neg 2 for 1 10 attacks, and it just kills a unit of whatever. And it's dumb. And then and then the Autarch comes in with the buffed Starglaive, which is like 5 attacks, hits on 2s, strength 5 neg 2 for 3 or something.
Strength 4 AP 2 and damage, lethal and twin link as well.
The Autarch's not. The Autarch's Starglaive is.
Are you talking about the power blade?
No, the Autarch. Not the Exarch. Not the Exarch. The Autarch. Yeah.
Autarch.
Added character. Yeah. So the Autarch then a unit of warp spiders hits in combat. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to putting some of them on the table. I think it's going to be a while before it's battle ready though, because I'm going to want to chop and change. So yeah, looking forward to that. The guard stuff, I'm not a guard player, unfortunately. I can't talk too much about the guard stuff. I hear that the Grotmus detachment is still just as good in the new codex. So you'd have to jump into chat and give us your opinion on whether you think the Eldar one or the Guard one January. I have a dark horse in this conversation, Mr. Lawrence. So GW did a sneaky sneak, and in the middle of Grotmus, they re-released Deathwatch.
Yeah.
So there's a secret, even though they said, Eldar, and it's by far, probably.
Yeah.
They snuck in a refaction for Deathwatch in the form of their Grotmus detachment. So how did Deathwatch fit in between the Eldar and the Guard?
Well, I think Deathwatch was, like a surprise, right? Especially after Uprising when Callum went second. And then I think end of the tournament, when we were back at home, we were talking about, everybody's playing Deathwatch. I even wanted to play Deathwatch. So
Deathwatch, I just happened. So I think Tom should probably still be in chat, and he was very excited by the Groshman's detachment, and he's been sparring with me on with his Deathwatch. So I'd kind of had a bit of a few. Luckily enough, I'd actually had a few games into Deathwatch before the tournament, so I knew what the rules did. But that Indominus unit, with the 3 Eradicators, the 4 Heavy Intercessors, and the 3 Aggressors with Flamers, it overwatches, it punches, it shoots. It's got 2 Heavy Bolters, so it shoots Horde. It shoots tanks because it's got 3 Eradicators in it.
Yeah.
The one problem with Deathwatch, though, is it has an Achilles heel in that it has no fallback and shoot.
So when you tag them.
So if you touch it, it needs to fight its way out. It needs to shoot its way out. But when you put the Gravis with the enhancement that makes the Power Fist and the Relic Blade more damage and AP, it can hit itself out of combat. The Talon Strike kill team, which is 5 Inceptors and 5 currently building the rest of the Talon Strike kill team, and 5 JPIs. So you get 5 JPIs. Those JPIs can take 3 plasma pistols, and then you get 1 JPI with a Power Fist, and then you've got 5 plasma Inceptors, and they drop down, and you can do this really cool thing where you overcharge all of the plasmas, right?
Yeah.
And you roll your overcharge for the plasmas. If you get any 1s and 2s, right? If you get any 1s, sorry. If you get any 1s, you take it on the plasma pistols on the JPI. Because the hazardous rule that was updated says that you're allowed to take it. You have to take the hazardous death on
the model that
on a profile that has hazardous in the unit. So if only one model has the hazardous profile and you roll the hazardous and you fail it, you have to take it. But because the plasma pistols can hazardous on the overcharge, you can actually pull the plasma pistols instead of pulling the Inceptors. So it has a lot of it's not like the 6-man Inceptor where you lose 2 sometimes. You're still going to have 5 Inceptors at the end of that shooting.
Yeah, but I don't think it's intended, so maybe they would correct that one.
Well, it's as worded. It says you can pull any from any profile in the unit that has hazardous. So,
well, that's one way to escape then.
The what else is really cool in the book? The Terminators are really cool. For 180 points, you get 3 Cyclone missile launches and 2 Thunder Fist, two 4-wound dudes with Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields, and 3 Cyclone missile launches. And those Cyclone missile launches get sustained and lethal sometimes. So that thing shoots a lot.
Yeah, the strat also I think is very, very good. So yeah, I think it was a surprise, because nobody, I think there are only how many Deathwatch in Uprising? Was 2?
4.
Was it 2? 4. So
out of 178 for Deathwatch, and one of them came second.
Then I think even myself, I haven't played Deathwatch, so I actually don't know what would they do to me if I played them during that time. So
I think if the codexes weren't coming out, Deathwatch might have actually won that discussion. It's something that you can take, right? If you want to play Space Marines, but you don't want to play Gladius or Vanguard, right? And you want to be competitive. I think they're all kind of up there in that Roxas's paper of armies at the top of the game, but they're very strong, very fun. They're fun to play. The
Interesting.
T5 and 6 everywhere. My Sanguinary Guard, when they were punching the Indominus kill team, wounding on 4s. It was a surprise. It was reasonably good. Yeah,
Or
yeah. I
is
remember the first game we played, and we're like, "Hang on, you can do
really?
what in Overwatch?
Yeah, really?
You can do what? Huh? You can kill my unit
Uh,
and the buff to the heavy intercessors. Yeah, that's right. So they
oh,
get super heavy bolters. So they're damage 3 heavy bolters.
what?
Yeah.
Damage 3 heavy bolters at
Yeah, I
81.
think Tom can correct me, but I think they're like good heavy
But
bolters, not shit heavy
it's
bolters. They're like the Stern Guard ones.
auto cannon 81 3 damage.
Mm. Yep. They're
Well,
still
good.
probably more expensive than your Predator though.
They're 130 points
So the Indominus unit I think is 270,
for
10.
10.
And you get the Eradicators and you get the 2 heavy bolters.
Well, then Preds will be scared with that era. So
Yep. So yeah, very very good. And they uppy downy, right? You got a screen.
yeah, that's a good thing with that watch is I think you can select 2 to up to down. So
Yep.
like Necrons.
You can select I think 1 normal unit or 2 kill teams, and then
Yep.
they get deep strike. So you can do like Callum German bought Centurion Devastators, and when you pick them up with the strat, they get deep strike. So you don't have to take Ventress in Ultramarines to give Devastators,
Yeah.
Centurion Devastators deep strike. So, 3 damage. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's really good. What was the other thing that was really surprising and was quite good?
Well, there were also like this Imperial agents, right? Surprising Imperial agents in Uprising. I'm not sure what was there.
Yeah, I think it's funny. If you don't know what it does and you don't know what the rules are and you overcommit to trying to killing Navy breaches and then they just roll a bunch of 4-ups, you then are in trouble, right?
Yep.
So that's right. I remembered my train of thought. Did you play any Necrons?
No, I didn't play any Necrons. So
the Star Shatter didn't do very well. Surprise,
well,
surprise.
it was Jason, right? Jason finished 8th. Was it? Was he 8th?
Yeah, I think he was the outliner though, right?
Yeah.
I think the rest of I think the Necrons had a good showing, but they had a good showing. Tyler from Taz.
Yes, Taz. Yeah. I think the best Necron.
Very good. Yeah, very good Necron list.
Awaken
Dynasty. So basically, the way that his list worked was brawling in the middle list, 3 Scorpet Lords, one of them with a Feel No Pain, just brawled in the middle. He had Wraith to go in and just be obnoxious to kill. He had Reanimator for reanimating stuff, scoring units, and just bullied things and just scored well. And characters got back up, so you can pay CP. Then and the Scorpec Lords get back up. So he did really really well. I've seen a list that I want to try that's going around in Necrons, depending on how I feel. That's back to warriors. I think I've started to see warrior lists come back into teams. 2 warrior bricks.
No, I don't think you'll play Necrons. You'll be very busy with Eldar stuff.
I will be very busy with Eldar. Yes, my schedule is filling up with things, as it seems.
Like Eldar, just Eldar.
Lots of Eldar. I built. I've got a Wave Serpent behind me.
Don't you have lots of Wave Serpent already?
No, I had 1 Wave Serpent. I think you need at least, for Aspect Host, you need at least 2, because you want 1 for your Dark Reapers and 1 for your either 10 Dragons I think what I'm going to try is 5 dragons, 5 banshees, and like use the second wave serpent as a launch pad. Not going to be busy with Emperor's Children in the soon future. I'll let you answer that question, Lawrence.
Well, I'm waiting for the Emperor's Shield. So I already talked to Greg of General Games. I need to reserve this, I need to reserve that, I need to reserve that. So yes, I would be busy also with EC. I think Emperor's Shield will throw a massive spanner into the meta soon, and it will just be an arms race for TW Order and EC. Yeah, I think EC because it's a new faction, so I think they would be obnoxious the first couple of months once they're out. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, without seeing too much of the rules yet,
Yep.
like we're kind of guessing a little bit, but I think World Eaters have done very well. Death Guard have done very well with their like limited, like Death Guard have more data sheets than World Eaters do, but like effectively, they have kind of one archetype. It'd be interesting to see. They've got their 2 units of 40 mil base models, right? So they've got the sword dudes, the double sword bros. I can't remember what they're called, and then they've got the Noise Marines have shifted to 40 mil 3 model unit guys. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, like, because they would be the like Exalted 8-bound equivalent type unit. It'll be interesting to see. I think the trend we've seen from the reveals, right, is that the Chaos books will have demons in them.
Yeah, those demons would be actually integrated to the legions. Like this first one would be Korn, and the next one would be Death Curso Nurgle, and then Zinch for 1,000 Suns. So.
And then some Salamanders slipped in somewhere there in that roadmap. So it's an interesting little roadmap. But yeah, I think
it's a Salamander. Maybe it's just Vulcan.
Maybe just what?
It's Vulcan. Maybe
just Vulcan. They're just going to release the Primarch and then run away.
Maybe I'm really not sure. I think it's Lehman Ross this year who would come back for the Loyalists. So
yeah, I mean Vulcan. I think GW can make a lot of friends if they release Vulcan and make him have good rules. I think that we've seen at Uprising that people can make really good rules of the new data slate stuff. So the +1 to wound on oath and Shrike combo. So the Raven Guard Shrike combo basically makes JPI's OC2, which makes them really powerful because you can get a unit of 10 and like they're kind of killy because you give them rerolls with double oath and then you with oath and then they're +1 to wound, so they're kind of like Blood Angels on the charge, and then they're OC2, so they out OC the thing that they're standing on, which can sometimes happen with JPIs. Like you'll go into like a unit of cultists, you'll kill like 3, you kill like 5 or 6, and they still out OC you.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. Anything else in the February January meta that
no, I think they are rushing all releases. Maybe the EC also will be end of February. So it's really exciting times.
I'd be remiss if I didn't point out Mr. Telemon. Sitting next to you. What do you think of the Spearhead stuff?
I'm really not a fan. I love Dreadnoughts. I like the Telemon. I like the Atlas, Galatus, but I'm really not a fan because the problem is they are OC3 or 4, and then if you're not wounded, just +2 OC. You would actually want it to be wounded anyways to actually wanted to use the rule of reroll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1 if you're under half strength. So yeah, they are very hard to die, but then like good players will just try to actually out OC you, parking some stuff in the primary and then just put in a good trade exchange, and then they would still struggle to win. I mean, yeah, they're very hard to dodge because they're custodies, but in terms of gameplay, it's interesting, but yeah, really not fun. But I love them, so but I won't play them yet.
You won't play them yet.
I'll play them this weekend because there's a 3-man tournament, and I'm the assigned loyalist, so I don't have a choice but to play custodies.
Yes, you definitely didn't have a choice to play Custodies.
I haven't met other loyalists back in the day.
Play Space Marines.
No, I don't know how to play Space Marines.
You can play Knights.
Yeah, but no, custodies better.
I don't know. 13 Knights plus Sisters plus scoring. The Knights player at Uprising that was up the top.
James, man, yeah, I played them. I played him like 3 times, right? I think twice in Uprising, one in the team's event. Yeah, James man is very.
It's a good list. I really like it.
Well, I tabled him, but then because I was, like, I don't have any excuse, but yeah, he went like just go, 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 and then just scored and out primary me. So yeah, he's a very good player. So I mean, knights can be actually good. So it really just a matter of the mission, and then obviously if you go first or second. So
cool.
Yep.
All right. Anything else about that you wanted to cover off? Anything in chat that you wanted to cover off?
Well, I think that's it.
We can move on.
Topic. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the topics that we wanted to cover off.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we wanted to just let everybody know about is obviously we're kicking off the Risky Rollers season for the year. So, now the events, all of the main events that are our events are up on the website on riskyrollers.com.au. So you can see, the website here. These are also all on. Dalton puts them all on the Facebook events page, so you can go to our Facebook page, Risky Rollers Events, to check them out. But here's where you go to buy some swag and buy tickets for the events. So hang on, let me just click onto this so I can see, I can read all the things. So our next event, which I believe is
the first event.
Yeah, it's nearly sold out. It's sold out, right?
Sold out actually. So I think we are permitting for 2 more additional slots, so we can go 32 because it's just a RTT.
I think we have a waiting list, right? Anyway.
Yeah, we have a waiting.
So yeah, down at the Scout Hole. If you've been at one of our small events before, you might have been down there. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting back on the events train. We don't stream that particular one because it is it's designed to be a more beginner friendly event.
Yes.
And it's for fun. If you haven't done an event before, you want to see what an event is like, and you would like some help. Maybe you haven't used BCP to do events before. Maybe you don't have the battle ready requirements for this event are a lot less than a normal competitive event, just so that we can encourage players to come. If you're interested in it, come down and say hello. We'll be there, and come down and have a chat. We're more than happy for people to come and watch, as long as obviously you don't disturb the games. But come and have a look, and we're always happy to have a chat. The first of our teams events is then at the end of March, Squad Games.
Yeah.
So that will be at the gaming arena, and that is a Squad Games is 4
Four man,
players?
four,
4 man?
man team. Yep.
4-man teams, which is a bit more fun. Again, a little bit more of an introduction to teams events.
Yes.
So come down, get a ticket for that, secure your team's entry into that, and that'll be a lot of fun. We then have our first GT, Calling the Banners.
Inclusive.
Is Calling the Banners 2 days or 1 day?
Calling the Banners 2 day.
2 days, 2-day GT. So
Yeah.
at Manningham, if you saw any of our videos or participated in the Risky Rollers Open, you would have seen the Manningham venue. It's a great venue, so in Bulleen there. So come and check that out. And then we have, in the middle of the year, we have the Victorian Team Championships, which we'll be hosting again this year. Then they will be over at the Gaming Arena. How many man teams is that one going to be?
5 man. 5-man team.
5-man teams. So that is more normal for the GT size events. And so start working on your teams. Get a team together for squad games. Find a 5th or a coach or a 6th, and sign up. Start working on your teams for VTC and participate in that. And that'll be fun. And then we've got a few things on the books to start getting ready for to put in the calendar for the back end of the year. Suck up to the significant other, get those brownie points ready to go so that you can come to the Risky Rollers team tournament and the Open later on in the year. So the teams tournament, I believe we're aiming for eight man teams.
So still a long way, so just be prepared, and then again, join
our premier event on again will be on Melbourne Cup weekend in November. The Risky Rollers Open, a 3-day event. Secure your tickets now, secure your plans. It was really great turnout, biggest event that we've had. Really, really good. So it's chock-a-blockers. 8-man is kind of huge. It is kind of huge, but it is kind of fun. That's kind of
I think
of
fun
and cool.
Like a very good event. So it actually fosters good camaraderie with your group. So I think we want to promote just more teams event this year, and then hopefully for next year.
Teams is my I think is probably the most fun I've had playing Warhammer. And so I highly encourage, if you can get a team together for squad games, you want to see what it's all about, do that. That's fun. That's not all of the events that we're covering for the year. We're also covering a few events that we'll talk about more in some time to come. I think probably the biggest one that we can talk about, Laurence, is the Australian team, the Australian and New Zealand Team Championships, which are in Tassie this year, Tasmania.
So we are traveling again.
So we will be covering that in Tasmania, which is great fun. Obviously, we would both like to be playing, but we want to bring the coverage to you guys. So we'll be hopping on the ferry with the gear in the car and moseying down to Tassie and covering that. So looking forward to that. We'll also be helping cover some of the a few of some of the other fundraiser events for the WTC team. Again, some of the ones that are happening in Victoria. So keep an eye out for those. I think one of the other things, Laurence, that we want to try to do is do this chat more regular, because we both have fun doing this and we have fun talking to you guys. And Luke, it's not the size that counts; it's the way that you play the game, mate. Huge in a good way. You just completely broke my train of thought. So keep an eye out. We're going to try to do this chat on a regular basis. So drop a comment in on the video in YouTube. send us a message on Discord. If you haven't seen our Discord, it's free to join. Have a look at the links below, and there's a big community in there. Lots of people playing TTS and having chats about Eldar and yelling at me because I'm getting rules wrong and all this kind of other fun stuff. So get on board with that, and yes. So,
what else?
Any other risky roller stuff that we need to talk about? Did I cover it?
I think that's it. We're still finalizing if they are a club day, so
Yep.
You'll hear more about it very soon.
Yep.
So I'll be having a discussion with Dalton this weekend.
I think the other event I forgot to mention that's on the events page is the Dalton is running some of his Blood Bowl events as well.
Oh yeah,
again this year. So they've been very popular. And so keep an eye out for that on the events page. I think some of the there's more information going up about that if Dalton hasn't already put it up. So so yes. So anything else that you want to cover off?
I think we need to recognize the newly made 2025 Team Victoria.
Yes.
Right.
You can talk about that.
Yeah, so congratulations, obviously, to I think the returning players, Matt Borisoli, Reese Cunningham, Jess. Who else is coming back? That's already 3. I'm not good in memory. Carl, help me out. Yeah.
Hang on, I can. I have the internet. I can find the post.
Oh yeah, just put it out.
Keep talking while I.
So okay, Matt, Jeremy, Adam, Jess, and Stu. So those are returning players.
Yep. So I got it. Yeah. So Matt Rosoli, Jeremy Martino. Then we've got Stuart Trainer, Reese Cunningham, and Adam Camilleri are back from previous Team Victoria appearances.
2024.
And then the 3 new players joining Team Vic for the first time. Lockie Callahan, who played on the Merc team last year, so gets a call up, which is congratulations to him.
Congratulations. Ben Colborough.
Ben Colborough. So he also played on the Merc team. He's been around the traps in the Victorian scene for a while, so it's a good courtesy to him. And Mr. Jason Horn, we talked about Jason at Uprising. He keeps putting in really top level performances. So congratulations to him for making that team. They're also taking expanding the coaching group for Team Vic this year. So Dean is obviously not playing. I don't think
non-playing captain.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So Dean's captain coaching, but he's taking some new people over. Obviously, me, Laurence and Dalton will be there, but we will be covering the event. So Dean is taking Kyle McKenzie, Luke Beveridge, and Anthony Verocci to Tassie as coaches. So congratulations to those guys. They've been participating in a lot of our in a lot of the Team Vic scrim events and around the traps, which is really good. I think the interest in Team Vic this year was really strong, which is good. I think it was more. There was more than last year.
I would assume so. Yes.
Yep. So that's really good to see more people being interested, and the guys got rewarded by getting some opportunity to experience being on the team and traveling, and it's good fun.
Yes. So congratulations and obviously good luck. We would be with them to bring the coverage and then of course to support them. So.
We will be politely rooting for them as neutrally covering as humanly possible, but not really. We will still be cheering for them because
we're a team.
Because we love you because you are Victorians. Anyway.
All right. So
all right.
I think that's it for the night. What else do we need to actually came true.
Yeah, if chat's got no questions or comments left, and I think we've covered everything off, we can start doing the wrap up.
Yeah.
So thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight for our first piece of content for 2025.
Yes.
And we promise we'll do this a little bit
This
more
more.
frequently. So stay tuned for that. We can't do it without you guys, so thank you for your support. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you know when we're going to go live. Make sure you tick all notifications so you see it and you don't get stuck in the YouTubian algorithms. That support is really keeps us going, and which is great. So thank you. Thank you to our channel sponsors. So thank you to Miniature Scenery. Thank you to General Games. Thank you to Dice Arcade. Thank you to Proxywars. Thank you to Baron of the Dice. And thank you to Hegemon for providing not only prize support for our events, but discounts at both at Dice Arcade. We've got Waggers over at Miniature Scenery. Helps us out with terrain and support for events and things like that. So go and support them as they support us. Nice one, Gaza. Yeah. Tom's picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Thank you, Mr. Laurence.
Thank you, Carl. I will see you this Saturday to offer you some more Space Marines.
We will see. Yes, I'll see you at the gaming arena for the event.
Sure.
And we'll see everybody next time. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.